Yo, 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 somebody give me a sound check. Hope everybody's good. Give me a sound check. Give me a sound check. Sound check, sound check. How's the sound? I realized last time I was on, I was talking into the mic, but the mic wasn't even working. But the sound still went through the computer. But I want to make sure that it's actually working properly this time. We got an interesting stream today for you guys. Give me a second. I can't see your comments just yet. All right. We're going to stream something that was on the Voromotors page. Melvin did an interview with the creator of Hooga Daytona. Very good interview. I actually already listened to the entire thing already. Let me see here. Let's get this thing started. Get this thing to the beginning. Let's cue this up. Okay, so I got this queued up pretty good. Give me a second here to set this up. Let me grab my laptop. Let me turn a light on too. Give me a sound check. Holy cow, it is hot in Hollywood, California now, my friends. All right, sound is good. Thank you, Mysterio. What's up, Cozy Drone? Good to see you guys. Give me a couple moments here to set this up. Hope everybody's doing good. Voromotors Podcast number 124. What's up, Dragon Maid Pro Gaming? That's my friend Dash Jiro. How you doing? So let me set this up here now. Here's my screen share. First, let's do the intro. What is happening, fellow pioneers of human transportation? I'm Yogi Steve. You're watching ESA, the Electric Scooter Academy live stream. Voromotors Podcast number 124, sponsored by Voromotors. That means I got paid a little bit just to do this. Don't worry, I still give you pretty much unbiased information. Highly recommend you buy your PEV from Voromotors. Today, we're going to watch an interview that with Melvin, the owner of Voromotors, did with the creator of the Hooga Daytona. I didn't catch the guy's name. And we're going to do some commentary on it. A very interesting interview, very, very good interview. A lot of new stuff. That's you got your mini PC for the podcast. Awesome. Very, very good interview. I really enjoyed it. I actually listened to it while I was playing poker all afternoon. So I have a pretty good idea of what's going on. Hey, what's up, Chaxologist? Good to see you. Longtime supporter and viewer of the channel. I appreciate you, Chaxologist, my friend. It's good to see you. Let me load this up here so I can see your questions and stuff. All right, let me hear the sound on my side and make sure my air conditioner isn't blowing you guys out. All right, let me hear the sound on. Oh, the sound is so much better. Last time I streamed, I had my mic in my hand. I was talking to the mic, but the mic wasn't actually connected. It was stupid, but the PC still picks up the signal. All righty, so if you're looking at first the promotional stuff, if you're looking to buy an electric scooter, Voromotors carries the InMotion line. Shit. Oh, why is my neighbor calling me? I'm calling back later. The Voromotors carries the InMotion line, the Tevron line, of course, the Hooga Daytona. We're going to learn a lot about that today. This is a what's up, Slack? Very, very interesting stream. I'm still sweating. I just walked down to the pharmacy and back. It's 85 degrees. I'm sorry if you're in a state where it's freezing cold, but it's 85 degrees here in Hollywood. It's going to be the same tomorrow. Unbelievable time of year. InMotion, eMove Cruiser, eMove Roadrunner Pro. If you're looking to buy a bike, they got the Alta Sigma, the Roar Mantis line. The Roar line. I love my Roar Mantis, my favorite bike. And hope everybody's good. Oh, Sumako's in the neighborhood. I got to take him back. I'm doing my live stream. Let me catch up with you later, man. But yeah, highly recommend you buy your scooter from Voromotors. Melvin is just the king of this business. Voromotors is going to become the Amazon of PEVs pretty soon. There seems to be like companies go out of business and Voromotors is just staying strong. I do feel sincerely that every single year their customer service gets better and better. Melvin is really devoted to his business. Make sure you join my Facebook groups. Very important part of my channel, my Facebook groups. My biggest group is if you're looking to buy the Roadrunner Pro 2. It's available for pre-order now. They're going to be coming out probably the end of March, early April. They'll be delivered. I can't wait to get the Roadrunner Pro 2. 72 volt, 40 or 60 amp hour battery. Highly recommend you buy the 60 amp hour battery version. That's 50% more battery, and it's only going to be $200 more. It's going to be an incredible deal. 72 volts is going to be fast, friends. That 60 volt was already very fast, 50 miles per hour. The 72 volts is going to be advertised at higher top speed. It's going to have more torque, more acceleration, and most importantly, it's going to have a better frame. So very excited about that. Make sure you join my group on Facebook, eMove Roadrunner Academy. If you're looking at any InMotion products, make sure you join my InMotion, RS, and Jet Academy, another good group, over 2,000 members on there. We got 5,000 members on the Roadrunner Academy. Make sure you join if you're looking at the eMove Cruiser. Even though it's kind of a lesser known scooter, it used to be the biggest selling scooter back in the day. I haven't sold as many recently, but my favorite sub $2,000 scooter, I worked on it all week actually. My eMove Cruiser V2, the all-wheel drive front and rear motor version. Big fan of this scooter. Mine's got like 3,000 miles on it. It's holding up really well. The advantage of the dual motors is it goes faster, has better acceleration, better hill climbing ability, and it comes with hydraulic brakes instead of those semi-hydraulics, which I'm not really a big fan of. If you're looking, okay, we're going to talk about the Hooga Daytona in depth today. We're going to actually watch an interview and make commentary. What's up, Trini G from the Caribbean? How you doing? We're going to watch the interview with Melvin and the owner of the creator of the Hooga Daytona. The interview itself is like an hour, and I'm going to stop and do commentary on it as we go. So this might actually be a two-parter. I'm not really sure, but I wanted to help spread this interview. This is a really good interview. They talk a lot about why the scooter was created and how it's different from the other scooters that Voromotors carries. Okay. So real excited to watch this interview. I listened to this interview while I was playing. I played poker all afternoon. Most of you guys know that. I'm actually back to being kind of like a semi-professional online poker player. I'm playing basically 30 hours a week, at least almost every day for 5 hours a day. And I usually listen to podcasts while I play poker podcasts. But today I listened to this interview with Melvin and the creator of the Hooga, and it was really interesting. I mean, there's some stuff in there that I don't necessarily agree with, like as far as like what people are doing with the scooter. They talk a lot about people going off-road on this scooter, and we'll talk about this as we go through. But let me set this up. Let me make sure I got everything going on here. Let me make sure my sound is good. My side. Make sure okay, so my air conditioner is not blowing you guys out. That's really good. Hey, what's up, Sumako? I see you in the stream. Good to see you, buddy. I'll talk to you later. Are you coming in for training tomorrow with Dulcinea? But I'll be here. That's you guys know Dulcinea. We've had her on the channel. That's Dulcinea's boyfriend. Sometimes he comes in for training, hangs out with us while we train. Makes it fun. Hope you're good, Sumako. It's good to see you, buddy. But I want to watch this. Oh, you added me on Facebook, Dasjiro? Excellent. I wanted to watch this interview and just casually, comment on it. A lot of interesting stuff. Melvin talks about sourcing parts, talk about the reason. Okay, Sumako, that's cool. I'll see you in the morning. That'd be very cool if you can make it. But yeah, very interesting interview. It really, I went by very quick. What I do, the way I play poker is I play sit and goes. For those of you guys that don't know, these are like tournaments. They're single table tournaments. There's 8 of us that enter. The top 3 get paid. And I play 5 at a time. Usually takes like an hour and 15 minutes to play 5 of them. And I usually play 4 or 5 rounds every day. So I like to listen to podcasts while I play, running in the background. But today I definitely listened to, what's up, Kirk563? Good to see you, buddy. But today I listened to this interview with Melvin, and I really want to give it some love. Like Voromotors has the same issue that I do, where they don't really promote their lives that much. They got a few hundred views. Let's get a few hundred more views for Voromotors on this interview. Make sure you guys like this video, help push it. After it comes out, bomb it with comments. Do anything you can to help promote it and help the algorithm know that people want to see this. I think this is a very educational interview. Talks a lot about the production of the scooter, why they made it, sourcing parts. Very interesting interview. We're going to watch it. I'll try to be quiet, let you guys listen to it, but I'm going to stop it and we're going to comment on it for sure. Let me enjoy. The only time I drink coffee past the morning time is when I do the live stream. I tell you guys that every time. I mean, shit, I would drink coffee every night if it wasn't bad for you. Bad for you in the sense that it keeps me awake. I don't need anything to keep me awake. I already have enough trouble sleeping. Hey, Randall, you made it. You missed the notification. Better late than never. I don't know if they even send out notifications for this goddamn stream. But I'm always happy to have all my regular viewers in here. If you're new, you never dropped a comment before, drop a comment, please. I'll be reading the comments while we watch this. So let me see if I got this set up right now. Hang on one second here. All right, so I got the interview loaded up. Let me put it on the wide screen here. Okay. Oh, shit. This is not going to work. Let me hold on a minute. I got to share the screen first, of course. I'm still figuring out how to use this fucking StreamYard. So, share screen. Hooga Daytona. Got that. Now, which format do I want to share it in? That's the question. Okay, so I guess like this, right? Yeah, this is better. This is good. This way you can really see it. And I'll blow it up so you can see it easier. All right, so that's not good. That's not really what I wanted to do. Is that good? Let me see here. Huh. Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay, that fills the whole screen. All right, perfect. All righty, guys. Enough procrastinating. Interview with Melvin, the owner of Voromotors and the creator of the Hooga Daytona. You know what I'm going to do, too, is these guys have accents, very mild. Their English is very, very good, but I'm going to put up the closed caption, make it a little bit easier to understand. Once I listen to it for a little while, though, I can understand these guys pretty well. I've listened to Melvin talk a lot, so I can understand him fine. I mean, I don't want to say these guys have strong accents. They have mild accents, but I'll put the captions up there to make it a little easier. I want to make sure we can hear everything. So, all right. So, boom, boom. All right. So, interview with Melvin and the creator of the Hooga Daytona.
Because I just did my ACL surgery 2 weeks ago, but I'm good. I have here with me my friend and the designer of the Hooga Daytona, Salu.
Salu, that's his name. Yes. I couldn't get his name when I watched Salu. Saloo. Salu.
Morning from LA.
Yeah, is the audio good? Let me see. Give me a second. Double check.
What's up, Razor? What's up, Dennis?
I think we're good.
He's doing the same thing that I do, checking the sound.
Okay. Okay, Jim, is good the audio? Okay, awesome. So today I'll be asking Salu a couple of questions about the Daytona and why he designed it. And I have collated a bunch of questions from the Hooga Daytona community. So let's start off. Why do you make the Daytona?
So it's a question that I'm getting from almost every enthusiast, in this industry. Like, why do you build a Daytona?
Mm-hmm.
You see, the hyper scooter game was really top notch for the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
With Kabu, GTR, InMotions, Dualtrons in the game. But I felt the industry kind of, they was just trying to compete on the price, just adding features, which is, just in terms of, it's not delivering the value for the user. So that's how the concept of Daytona was born. Was trying to build a flagship killer.
Flagship killer.
Yeah, that was the idea of Daytona.
Yeah, so you want to come out with a bang.
Yes, so the whole thing was we've been in this industry for a long time. We study what the community wants. We've been testing products. We've been engineering a lot of other products in the market.
Okay.
Then building a product like Daytona, it's not an easy game. You need to have a lot of engineering. You need to build a lot of patents, a new DNA, So it took us some time, but we went all in, and yeah, that's how it's good. It's good.
Oh, what problems were you trying to solve? Okay, so you said that hyper scooter industry.
I'm going to look for your email now, Trinity.
Like the Cabo GTR, they are just doing very incremental improvements and changes. So what problems were you trying to solve with the Daytona?
Daytona is a first dual sport hyper scooter in the market. When I say dual sport, you see, Kabu GTR is built for off-roads. It is built for off-road. It's not stable at high speeds. But in motion, RS is a really good product on street, but it's not for off-road.
Okay, so this is the first thing I wanted to stop the video and comment on. They market a lot of scooters as off-road or road scooters, particularly like the Cabo line. They marketed this as specifically as an off-road scooter. And I guess they market like the InMotion line as a road scooter. And really, what does it mean? It just means the tires are different and the frames have to be kind of like heavy duty to go off-road. But I've wondered for years, who is taking their scooter off-road? I don't know anybody who really takes these scooters off-road. I feel like you see YouTubers like Ginger on Wheels, Freshly Charged, make like clips of going off-road, but who's really taking these scooters off-road? Because I feel like they're not good. Even something like the GTR, which was specifically made to go off-road, I don't think it's great for off-roading because your center of gravity is so high. You're standing on the scooter. Your tires are very small. So I think people buy these scooters mainly for street use. I think the off-road use is almost like a myth. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. Do you take your scooter off-road? I've always tell people, if you want to go off-road, get a bike. You have bigger tires, you're lower to the ground, they're much more grippy. But the market, the way they market these things, and in this case, I guess what Salu's going to talk about here is the Hooga is made to go both off-road and road because it's got hybrid tires. And one thing I really do like is hybrid tires. I feel like the hybrid tires are just as comfortable as road tires, but they're better. They're more durable. So let's let this guy talk.
Like what kind of products they like, what is the kind of feature they require, and I felt the need of a dual.
Sumako says, I know a few who take scooters off-road, but they eventually end up on an EUC. My friend Sumako is an expert electric unicycle driver, so I understand why he's saying that.
Sport hyper scooter was,
All right, so Kirk's proved me wrong. Kirk says he does take his scooter off Steve.
Was there. So if you look at Daytona, it's built for extreme off-road. It can do like
but Kirk rides with the seat. He goes off-road, but with the seat. Very interesting.
Extreme, insane off-road. We've been testing. We have seen the videos and stuff. Like it can do like crazy off-roads. And it's also stable at high speed. At 70 miles an hour, it's stable at high speed. So it's kind of like an idea where it
also, Steve 62270 saying he does go on light gravel. Very interesting.
Has to go through both extreme off-road as well as on the street. So that's why we call it dual sport. And that's how we push dual sport in the market.
Awesome. So what Salu just said was that the Daytona solves the issue where the challenge of having a scooter, one scooter for one need. So let's say if you want to go off-road, with the GTR, mostly you are using it to go off-road. You cannot really use for the street. The deck to ground clearance is so high. Now with the RS, it's such a great scooter, but
that was one thing that I thought was crazy was on the GTR. When Cabo worked with Voromotors, I had a GTR, of course. It was so high off the ground. But the problem with it is that also the distance from the deck to the handlebars was shortened. So unless you were like 5'6", the handlebars were just too low. So by making the deck really high, you kind of effectively lowered the handlebars. And that was something I didn't really like about the GTR.
You can only use it for the street. So the Daytona is that one scooter that solves both problems, where you can use on the street and off-road.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you're trying to say, right?
Yes.
So there's a lot of questions that I want to ask you. Now let's start with maybe other than the problems that we want to solve with Daytona. Why do you choose this specific factory to make it?
So we had this idea for Daytona in 2022, and see a lot of factories in China to build this kind of products. But a factory having the right supply chain, the resources, and also the vision. The most important, the vision, because the hyper scooter game it's kind of with some of the major players in the market. So someone to enter the category is not easy. So finding the factory to support us and building the right set of product, backing the vision is important. So we end up with a factory qualification, and that's the founder. He has been really supportive. He is also an enthusiast, and he supports a lot of my team, even in terms of the idea to making it a reality and bringing the resources, the supply chain. I mean, it's been like that's the reason I went with them. It's not just the supply; it's a value they provide as a factory.
But why didn't we go to the cheapest factory and then bring the designs over and call it a day? Like explain, because like there are a lot of factories in China.
Yes.
That is an option.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we were talking about Saronster the other day. A lot of you guys didn't like him, thought he's bad for the business. But Saronster, the biggest PEV influencer in the world, he did a series of videos in China where he visited the factories, and they're talking about the factories here. I highly recommend you go to his channel and watch this. If you want to really learn about these scooters and bikes and why we'll never be able to make them in the U.S., it's amazing what they do in China. In China, they have like individual factories for individual parts, individual factory for brakes, for tires, for rims. Very, very interesting. There's no way we would have the infrastructure to do that here in the U.S.
So why don't we do that?
If you see Daytona, it does not look like anything out there. It is designed.
That is true. The Daytona does have an amazing look, very unique look.
Ground up. It doesn't have any. It is not a copy design. It has brought from our imagination of what a hyper scooter should look like. So we don't. It has to different from the factories that probably have done. Many factories in China, they have experience in building hyper scooters or motorcycles, or even the entry level models. But the quality, the kind of craftsmanship that requires to build a hyper scooter to really have that kind of performance is not easy. So we don't want to sacrifice on the performance, the quality, the materials, the components that we use in the scooter. So, I mean, like I've been into this industry for long. In China, I have a lot of resources.
Wow, Trini G, I'm looking at your motorcycle right now. I'll try to load this up so I can show it to the people later. I love the black and the red, Trini. That's very nice, man. Very cool. That's a badass fucking motorcycle. Your place looks amazing too. Wow. That looks like a really cool bike. Oh, you sent it to Wilshire as well? It's awesome.
Well, the point is, it's not just resources. It's finding the factory who can back that vision and with the capital is required. So
got you.
So that's what it.
Can you flip your mic? I think someone is telling me that's the static. I think I have to flip it.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to flip it. Yeah, just take it out and then reflip it. But we're good. Overall, it's okay. Just a bit of static. So I think what Salu is trying to explain is that when we want to design something more complex and complicated, like the Daytona, we cannot just use any factory to help with the designing and the manufacturing of that entire process, because the founder factory and the resources such as the R&D team that is operating within the factory has to be willing to work with the design team to bring it to life. Because certain factories, let's say if you just select a normal factory to help design the Daytona, any small changes that is done. Remember this very clearly, because when the Daytona's backbone dynamics first came out, it was like a remove.
Yeah, that is one thing that is very interesting. The frame of the Daytona is unlike anything I've ever seen before. Gives you a lot of confidence that stem is going to really hold up. And it's a very, very, it's like a uniframe. It's like one big part. It's pretty amazing.
Rubber plate. You remember?
It was like one single chassis.
Yeah, one single chassis. But the very first prototype, I think it was, you can remove to change colors.
Yes.
Yeah. So like this small change would require the whole R&D team to work with the supply chain to redesign the entire chassis in order to make it a one-piece design. A lot of factories are not willing. Nowadays, a lot of factories, if you ask them to change one small part, you have to jump through so much hoops through their finance approvals, to the R&D, to the molding.
To me, this is really interesting, hearing about how these scooters are made and how dealing with the factories, how it can be very complicated. To me, it's very interesting.
Supplier to be willing to work with you throughout this whole R&D process. So that's why Salu is saying that this factory that we have been working with is very supportive of him and his designs throughout the way. Yeah, is that correct?
Yes, it is. And it's kind of like the right factory, the right supply chain, the resources, and also someone who can see what is next in this hyper scooter. Because Daytona is it's part of a bigger ecosystem that we are building in Hooga brand. So it's just the beginning of the performance electric power sports.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I cannot wait to see what the Hooga brand has in the pipeline and what it will grow into next.
The bike, I want the bike. I can't wait to see that Hooga Daytona bike. We've only seen it at CES at the show in Las Vegas. I don't think they're going to be on the market for a while, but the bike looks pretty sick.
3 years down the road,
Yep.
with the crazy bike coming.
Yeah,
I think we did a really good job with the Daytona,
yes.
but I think there's a lot more we can do with
Yes.
the Daytona right now for this year 2026. And with the bike, it's going to take this brand to a whole new level.
Yep.
Yeah, and like another change that we did during the R&D process was this scooter was originally an 11-inch
yes,
tire scooter, right?
Yes.
Well,
Okay,
that's really interesting.
can
It's
you
like one of the
maybe
hallmarks.
share-
One of the hallmarks of this Daytona is the big 13-inch tires. It was originally going to be 11-inch tires. That's very interesting.
With our customer base, like what happened between 11-inch to 13-inch?
Yes. This is many of my resources, my close friends ask me, why you choose Voromotors? So before building the Daytona, I probably have met a lot of partners in US who can bring this product to the market.
Can you name a few? Can you name a few? Why don't you name a few? Like name a few companies that you will work with to bring this Daytona to market. Tell me one company.
Let's go to
Melvin's funny. There's no other company they're going to work with that's going to bring this scooter to market like Voromotors. You saw what happened to Cabo. Voromotors isn't selling Cabo right now, so they're hardly selling any units anymore. Hardly hear anything about Cabo anymore. If you're not selling at Voromotors, you're not going to sell shit.
let's go to Voromotors. So
No, but maybe share with
so
like the audience why Voro and then who you have actually looked for. That way they know how you differentiate
yes. So
from your lens.
yes. So Melvin, if you look at the electric scooter industry, especially in US, there are many dealers, who are already been in it for a long time, and so instead of just having this idea in the paper, I would rather go find the right set of partners in US who can actually communicate and help us to understand what the community is expecting us to deliver.
Mm-hmm.
So
That is something that's very interesting, and I've said it before. Melvin is like very, very active on social media, very much participates on, he doesn't have to either, on my channels for the different vehicles that I promote on Facebook, and he's in there. It's very rare that the owner of the company will be there talking to the average consumer.
the difference from the rest of the resources that I met and you is that you've seen the industry growing from what it was from nothing to what's today, right? You've seen that growing. You've been part of the journey, and you've been working with a lot of, these riders. And so for us, when I kind of narrow down to who should be our partner in US, and when I met you, the first thing you told me, bro, it has to be 13-inch scooter. That's what you told me.
Yeah.
So yes, so it was an 11-inch scooter, and
That's
I think
funny.
that was a very impactful decision in building that product, and that is actually the reason the right resources matters, when building a product like this. So your input, because you know the industry, you know what's happening. And there was a lot of 11-inch scooters in the market. The problem with 13-inch was the supply chain. There was not enough supply chain to support 13-inch in the market. So even when we were developing the design, we had this idea of 13-inch, but we didn't go for that because the supply chain was not matured enough. But then you said it has to be 13-inch. Then it brought us from a different perspective. Okay, the market demands 13-inch. The person who knows the industry demands 13-inch. So whatever happens, make sure the supply chain support us to bring the 13-inch, and that's how it happens. So all credits to your expertise, though.
Hey, so I think it's very. When I first saw the Daytona, and they sent me the pre-production version, and I saw it with the 11-inch tire. I remember blasting the group chat in our R&D team, hey, please try to use a 13-inch. The moment they put the 13-inch on the Daytona, it was perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. I think this is how that scooter should look like.
Yes, exactly.
And especially trying to meet the goal of dual sport, going off-road and on-road. When the Daytona was made, there was only the RS, Fighter Supreme Ultra, that was 11-inch. And then the GTR, which is 12-inch.
Yes.
So 13-inch is not very popular yet. So the supply chain to get the 13-inch tire was really difficult.
Yep.
That's really interesting. It's almost like they wanted to make a 13-inch tire scooter, but the tires had already been in production. They didn't make them specifically for this, but that to kind of amp up 13-inch tire production to make these scooters.
Yeah, because you need to make sure the tire supplier is willing to work with the motor supplier to come out with this 13-inch wheel. I think this is right now the largest production wheel set in the electric scooter space. So I think perfect setup on the Daytona.
Yep.
Then when you did the Daytona, after you have the 13-inch, does it affect the top speed? Does it affect the acceleration?
So the 13-inch, the kind of tires we're using is kind of a dual sport pattern. So yes, it was intended to perform well in off-road. It has a good stability, but when it comes to street on road, it still have some limitation in terms of the weight, in terms of the tread pattern. But if you look at Daytona's geometry, the architecture, we're still able to achieve 70 miles per hour.
70 miles per hour?
And that's good. And it's legit, right? Something which I told you when I met you, that for Hooga as a brand, we want to make sure that what we are mentioning on the paper, what we're suggesting on the paper has to be legit. It has to be real. So when we say 70 miles...
Yeah, I haven't seen it hit 70. I think I've seen it at 65. I think Ginger on Wheels and Freshly Charged, maybe on the odometer, on the speedometer on the scooter, it said 70. But I think actually maybe 65, but close enough, right? It probably does go 70 and under perfect conditions with a fresh battery.
And it has to push, because a dual sport, it has to do off-road as well. It's a heavy scooter. It's a big scooter. So, I mean, yes, it has its own challenges.
I have a lot of different scooters, Cam 0073. My favorite one so far is the InMotion RS. I do have a Hooga Daytona. I haven't ridden it a lot because I got into an accident right around the time I got it. I'll have that on the road soon. I also rode the Tevron 7260 for a while. I like that scooter a lot. My favorite go-to daily scooter is a smaller scooter, my eMove Cruiser V2.
But we did our best to, push to the limits.
Can you maybe answer the audience where all the weight come from? Why is the Daytona as heavy as it is today?
If you look at the entire structure of Daytona, it's built for taller guys, people who are tall.
Taller.
I've seen your Facebook, in the pages, like people are appreciating, like you build a real solid product for the taller guys.
Yep.
Yes. So ideally, the entire dimensions are different from what's already in the market. Then we have a forged aluminum chassis and a deck size that is larger than what's already in the market. So all this combination plus the dual motor, that's what made it heavy. So actually, I cannot call it heavy. It's actually well positioned, because if you want to do 70 miles per hour on a scooter, it has to be stable. Also, it has to perform on extreme off-road. So if it's a very lightweight scooter, it'll have limitations in terms of stability.
Yeah, I understand that. It's probably important to not make these scooters too heavy. But if you're going to go fast, or if you're going to go off-road, they need to be durable. So they effectively need to be heavy.
To off-road, you need to have that agility to, move around and slick around and, do kind of wheelies and stuff. So it's kind of balanced in terms of the R&D. So I would say it's perfectly developed according to the positioning the product is right now as a dual sport hyper scooter.
Yeah, and also when I'm trying the Daytona and the 7260R.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I'm trying both scooters, the 7260R, which I love, but the stem itself, okay, it feels like all the weight is at the bottom of the scooter, and the stem onwards, stem to handlebar is like, it doesn't feel like anything, the stem to handlebar. So all the weight is on the deck. But when you are on the Daytona, the weight is evenly distributed from the stem to the deck, so it doesn't feel like it's too heavy all around. It's heavy to transport, but when you're riding it, it feels very rigid. So that's how I feel on the Daytona.
Yeah, it's true.
Then when you're making this scooter, what are some non-negotiables in the process?
So making the see, you can actually build anything that has like 70 miles, 80 miles, 100 miles speed and insane engineering, but you have to make sure that it's priced right. Right? It has to be accessible. The purpose of what I believe or the team believes is that performance should be accessible so that the enthusiast, the community gets to feel what exactly it delivers, So the non-negotiables were making sure that even by delivering that price point, you look at Daytona's price point is solid price point under $4,000, but delivering a very strong, high quality hyper scooter, which a forged spine structure, and forging is an expensive process.
Okay.
So
can you tell them why it's an expensive process?
Yes. So if you look at any scooters in the market, most of them have a tube structure or an extruded frame, where the batteries are in. If you look at Daytona, the entire spine, the neck to the spine to the tail is like a one full structure.
Right.
And forging is the only method to achieve something like that. And forging is the kind of method that we use to, it's the same process we develop the dirt bikes like Sorons or all kind of top dirt bikes in the market. They use as the forging process. So the material, the process, the kind of design that Daytona has to achieve that, you need to have forging. So that makes it expensive. Then we want to have an LG battery. The cells should be really good. We don't want to use any.
So for those of you guys who don't know, I had to look this up because I wasn't sure. It's talking about I guess the difference between forging and extruded. Forging is a manufacturing process where metal is shaped using compressive force, often by hammering, pressing, or rolling. It's one of the oldest metalworking methods and is still widely used because it produces strong, durable parts. It works by the metal is heated and then it's forced into shape using hammers, hydraulic presses, and dies. Very cool. There's hot forging, cold forging, warm forging. Examples of everyday forged products are wrenches and hand tools, engine components, railroad spikes, aircraft structural parts. It's okay, Gustavo, you made it. It was good to see you at the group ride this weekend. So I guess forging is important to really make like a really durable, if you want to make like a really durable frame, it has to be forged, I guess, as opposed to, versus casting or machining. Casting is molten metal poured into mold. Machining is material cuts away. Strength depends on the original stock. Very interesting. Think of forging like shaping dough by pressing and folding. It becomes denser and more structured compared to just pouring batter into a mold. Very interesting.
Low quality cells. The battery has to be consistent in terms of delivering the performance. So these are things that we cannot sacrifice on this to cut down the cost. So even if, like I said, right, it's an entry for Hooga brand to a bigger, broader spectrum of electric power sports. So we are trying to negotiate what should not be there rather than what it actually takes, so that there is non-negotiables. It has to deliver.
Okay, that makes sense, and that's why the price was really hard to determine when I was working on the pricing structure or the Daytona. It's not just about the cost, but the cost of operation with such a big scooter was really difficult for me.
What's up, Cariopolis?
Because when we shipped this scooter, we had to use freight. When that skews the price by a ton, with trying to balance making it affordable for consumers. and making it not insanely price ourselves out of the game. For Voro to sustain this price, we make quite a bit of trade-offs in pricing the Daytona. So the freight cost in the US nationwide is about $450 to transport the Daytona, where if you transport a typical electric scooter, it's usually $100 and below. So $450.
That's crazy. Is he talking about shipping it from China to here? Wow, these are only $36.95. I didn't realize the price was actually so low on this. That is pretty amazing. Is he talking about the shipping to the customer or the shipping from China? I'm not sure.
Compared with $100 is a big difference. So this is one of the areas that I was having a very long time trying to work with, along with the factory. Because no matter how much I try to squeeze the factory, if I squeeze $50 out of them, the shipping fee is fixed, $450. So it's very hard to
so he's talking about from China
on the pricing on that end. So right now, today, we have the best pricing on the Daytona right now. And it's really through a long period of time trying to work with the factory, squeezing every supply chain down the line, the battery supplier, the factory that was assembling the scooters. So we finally got it here today. Yeah. Then what was some features that was done on the Daytona?
Kirk, you're going to buy something from Voromotors eventually? I hear you. It's a place to buy from. And again, it's good to see you, Gustavo. Hope you're doing good, man. That's my friend, What Traffic.
During the conceptual phase that did not make it to the final production.
Yes. This is really cool because, like I said, it has to, when we...
Thanks, bro.
So, like I said, when we had this initial idea for the scooter. We want to experiment with a lot of new innovative ideas. One of that was the extended foot pegs.
Extended foot pegs.
You must have seen the scooter, right? So when we sketched the first product, we had this kind of an extended foot pegs that's foldable.
Foot pegs he's talking about. Pegs.
What we realized when we are at high speed, it's not only the front end has got the wobble, it also have the rear. So to keep the rear end to keep stable, there's an extended foot peg added. So when we were testing it, we had this thing and we've been like, it was something which is really cool. Because nobody's done in the industry. It was like it's something different,
Yep.
And when we brought it to the market, we got these samples here. We had a lot of customers reviewed us, and some of them had a feedback that was very unusual.
With the foot pegs, right?
With the foot pegs.
You know how many people called me after the foot pegs to tell me, you better not let this go to production.
Yes.
I remember, I think it was maybe Freshly Charged. Andrew from Freshly Charged.
He called
me. Hey, bro, please don't let this go to production because it might not sell. Something like that. I don't remember, but I remember a couple folks. And one of my favorite customers, Alfonso, also told me, hey
to Alfonso, he's a local guy, comes to my rides. He's bought a whole bunch of scooters from Melvin.
Are you sure you want to let the foot pegs go to production? Because when I ride the scooters, I don't think I'm going to use the foot pegs. So after listening to all the customers, I let Salu know about this. That's why it didn't make it.
But I if you look at our Daytonas, the plastic, we still have the option to assemble a foot peg. So if any of you guys are really watching and if you guys want to give it a try, you can actually get some foot pegs and assemble and give it a shot. What do you guys feel like, Because
we can assemble it?
Yeah, we can. So that's how it's already designed. Like you can take out that plastic portion and we can assemble a foot peg into this.
Okay, so I just want to make sure we understand. We can install the foot pegs on the Daytonas today.
Yes.
Okay.
Look at the mounting.
That's crazy.
Look at the mounting that's in the market.
Okay.
And you guys can text us. We can send you a couple of trial foot pegs to test because it was actually a new idea. If we had this kind of idea, we were in like when we were testing this product, when we designed it, when we engineered it, we found it like really strong point. We're like, oh, this is cool. This should be a kick-ass idea, man. Nobody's done it.
Can you send me the foot pegs?
Yeah, we can have.
Okay, next 2 weeks, I want the foot pegs.
Yes.
Okay.
Try it. You let us know. Maybe we can have it on our next model, updates.
So instead of me trying it, okay, I want to let us, whoever that is in the chat right now, if you have the Daytona and you would like to have the food packs to try it out, please just leave a comment in the chat so we can have our customer service team reach out to you and get you the packs.
Yes.
It will be a custom request, so it's not something you can order online, and it will not be something that is available right now. We have to wait, as we just found out together from Salu that you can install food packs on the Daytona today.
Yes.
So let's try it. Whoever that's interested, please leave a comment under the chat. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't know about that.
That's how it is designed. You know, we just don't want to let.
Did the factory tell us about this?
For sure, the factory.
They did. Okay, then I need to check with.
So the thing is that so when we designed the scooter, whatever ideas we had from the day one, we are very curious, right? We just don't want to let ideas to not let this.
That is something that I really appreciate about you and the factory, is that in this scooter industry today, there are not a lot of innovations done anymore. Like this year in CES, we were in Vegas showcasing the bike. But last year, when we were in CES, there were so many new scooters out there. But this year, there were nothing. There's no scooters. Navi, probably the most prominent booth, they had a lot of these new scooters that are showcased, but there are a lot of copies and clones. So I don't see a lot of new innovation done in the space. The latest innovation right now is really the Daytona. Everything else is in the 48 volt and under.
Yeah, I agree. They haven't really done much. I said this years ago, and Melvin had like one episode of a Voromotors podcast, sort of from the office in Panorama City. I remember when I went there myself. Oh, why am I not here? Why am I not? Can you guys hear me? Did I disconnect my camera or something? Oh, my camera got fucking disconnected. What happened to my camera? That's weird. You can hear me. You don't really need to see me for this anyhow. That's fine. I don't know why there's no picture. Why you can't see me. This is weird. Why can't you see me? I don't care. As long as you can hear it, it's fine. We're almost done with this anyhow.
Space, which most of our customers are not in that category. They try it out. They don't like it. Now they are at Voro shopping for something serious.
Yes.
So in above 48 volt space, there's really not a lot of scooters.
Yes, that's exactly the reason we built Daytona, right? That, at some point, someone has to bring this game back. It was the hyper scooter game is legit. There's opportunity. There's a real opportunity to build great products, and when these legacy brands they're not trying to innovate, then brands like Hooga should come up and do something new.
Yeah, bro, I really appreciate about this. I just spoke to Cabo last month, and I don't think there's any new stuff in the pipeline from them anymore. I did tell them, hey, if you want to continue staying in business, maybe you should just design an e-moto from Cabo. I told Qian about this.
What is it?
So
that's very interesting. Melvin's telling Cabo if they want to stay in the business, they better develop a bike. Very, very interesting. I mean, Melvin's got crazy sway in this business.
He's doing an e-moto, like a small one. But I just don't think it's something that will align with Voro, whatever that he's doing. And I wish them well. Just that the scooter.
Well, so much for that. I heard a rumor from Anaconda Hugs, Rick, that Melvin was considering getting back with Cabo, but now really listening to this, I guess that's not going to happen unless they make a bike.
It's like they are not selling as much as before, and there's not a lot of innovation done. Whatever they were doing on the GTR today is what I literally told him before the GTR was launched. Just remove the removable battery is very useful feature when it is, let's say, a 60 volt scooter and under. Something that's light. When something is light, is a much more useful use case to remove the battery and swap it out.
Yeah.
Because you can carry it.
Yes.
But once you get to the 72 volt, 25 mAh above kind of category, the battery itself is so huge. In order to swap it out, it's really for those small few hardcore users to use the removable battery. Like the Carbo GTR, in the beginning, in order to try to test out the market, we stock up a couple of removable batteries. They just don't sell. Nobody wants them. It took us like 2 years to sell through all the batteries. And it was just a waste of money because batteries cannot store on the shelf for too long. So we stock them incrementally. Every 3 months we stock a couple. That way we don't waste the batteries if they sit on the shelf for too long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's get to another question that I want to ask about the Daytona. People are asking online, why 72 volt 40 amp hours only? Can you answer us?
Yes.
Just tell me. Okay, and before we get to that question, did I tell you to do 72 volt 50?
You did.
Wait, and how was I too late to tell you?
Yeah, it was too late.
Okay,
yeah.
I was too late.
So it was because you see, the Daytona's longer wheelbase, okay, and higher neck length because of the off-road suspension, characteristics. So the maximum battery possibility was in the stretch was 72 volt 40 amps.
Okay.
But the Daytona is like a platform for hyperscooter.
Okay.
We call it the Heat S platform. It's Hooga Electric All-Terrain S platform.
Okay.
It's a hyperscooter platform, and it is built to extend bigger battery packs, but it requires new investments in the mold. It requires some sort of changes in the entire geometry. It might add more weight. So we need to consider all these aspects and make a decision. So yes, you suggested the 70 to 50, but it was a bit late. So
yeah,
and interesting. Because if there is any complaint about the Hooga, is that 40 amp hours. That used to be considered a big battery. I guess now it's considered average or almost small. He wanted to make it 50 amp hours, but I guess they couldn't for these reasons they're talking about here. Very interesting.
In order to redo the mold for the battery, what areas of the scooter will be impacted?
So if you see, the battery is enclosed in an extrusion, aluminum extrusion, okay, and it is get bolted to the chassis. So it requires a new extrusion mold to be developed. That's one thing. Second is a couple of mounting points need to adjust. So ideally, the main chassis is designed not to have any changes if you upgrade the battery, but the extrusion would require certain change and a couple of design details. So we need to also make sure that how can we not add more weight to the scooter. It has to also have that balance. So yeah, I've been getting a lot of feedbacks. I'm watching all these Facebook comments. My team is sending all the updates, what's happening, and yes, we know there's requirement for a 70 to 50 amps battery, but trust me on this, we are working on this. We just want to make sure that anything that we deliver next should not be just a minor upgrade. It has to be one step ahead.
So it looks like the next iteration of the Hooga will have a bigger battery. I mean, 40 amp hours is pretty good. You can get a decent amount of range on that.
We just want to make sure we outperform ourselves in delivering what we already have done. So it's not just the battery update that's we're working on. We're working on a lot of details, but it takes some time. So yeah.
Okay, but I want to be clear. You're not working on a 2.0, right?
You know what I want to do, by the way, guys? I think I want to save the rest of this. This is a long interview. We're almost an hour in. I want to answer questions in the chat, and I want to save the rest of this interview for the next stream. We still have 37. We still have almost a half an hour left on this. So let me just go into the comments, and we'll answer questions and stuff like that. Make sure I get to everything. So Chexologist says, so proud to have a PEV as my very first vehicle. That's very cool. Shax has never ridden any vehicle with gas power. That's amazing, Shax. That's awesome. Kirk says, I've been having more fun with my electric scooter than my 150cc gas scooter. It's good. Chexologist says, I prefer the Roadrunner if I want to sit down. Sit down compromises structural integrity and force distribution on a stand-up frame because you tend to push and pull on the handlebars more. I agree. Kirk, you're going to buy a scooter from Voromotors, you're saying here? That's cool. All righty, guys, listen. This took a lot longer than I thought. I thought we could do the entire thing in one stream, but there's like a half hour left, and we're pretty much already at the 55-minute mark. I usually like to do these for 55 minutes or an hour. All right, guys, another Voromotors podcast. I want to do my best to promote this interview. So next stream, we're going to watch the rest of it. I'm looking forward to it. It's fun to reconnect with all you guys, all the regulars in the stream, all the new people. And we'll be back. Today is Friday, making up for the Thursday stream. Next stream is Sunday, which, I'll probably do on Monday. I'm always like a day or two behind. All righty, guys, I hope everybody is good. Another fun Voromotors podcast. If you're looking at the Hooga Daytona, I don't have like a big discount code, but I do have like a Yogi Steve code to get $45 off. They no longer have these big $100, $200, and $300 discount codes available, but use my links. All righty, guys, that was fun. I will see you Sunday or Monday. Take it easy.